Good.
Happy birthday, Larry.
Thanks.
Happy birthday.
We're moving on to our reviews. Have a couple here. The Witness, it's a good segue because I've been playing The Witness. And I was a little nervous going in because I'd heard a lot of people talking about it, and it had been getting 10s and 9s and 9.5s from all these different review sites, and I'm like, I'm gonna go in with all these expectations, and it's gonna fail miserably for me.
Now your copy was paid for.
No, I pirated. No, it was paid for. So The Witness is on the one hand, it's kind of a walking simulator. Like you're dropped onto this island, really no backstory that's given to you, really no story at all unless you're willing to dig for it. And so I won't talk too much about the story elements because I've uncovered some of it, but it's all about the exploration of it. But you're exploring this island, and you're solving a series of these two-dimensional puzzles that are on panels, and they're mazes that have different rules set to them. And as you play the game, you learn more about what these rules are. So, for instance, in the very early stages of it, in the maze, there are squares that are either black or white, and you've got to draw your line separating the black and the white squares from one another. Just simple rules like that, but they begin to compound as you go through the game. And as you undo these puzzles, it'll unlock other puzzles and open up like electric circuits that will open more puzzles and will open gates. But the thing that's so cool about The Witness is it's about 600 puzzles in this giant island, and you are free to go wherever you want on the island from the very beginning. So you can go to areas and try to play puzzles only to get halfway through and realize, I don't know the rules to finish out this puzzle. You can back out, go to a different place on the island, learn more rules, come back whenever you get a chance to learn. Go ahead.
I like mechanics like that. They're pretty rare, but where you're not limited by a rock in your path or some silly thing just to keep you from getting to things you can advance through, but you can actually go and try to take on challenges that you can't complete yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's all about exploration. It's all about trial and error, but in the same regard, there's no reward for guessing and guessing correctly. And I got stuck at a part, and I just got frustrated. And I'm like, I'm just going to keep drawing lines until it unlocks. And it unlocked, got to another part of that puzzle where I was having to implement the rules that I learned with that one, but I hadn't learned anything because I just guessed. And so The Witness comes in assuming that you are an intelligent individual. So if you are not, either pirate the game or don't buy it. No, it has this assumption that you are an intelligent person, and you can take contextual clues and learn as you go. So there's no tutorial, there's no HUD, there's nothing of the sorts. It's all just jump in, try these puzzles until you teach yourself the rules and can do even harder puzzles. And it's cool because some of the puzzles are affected by the environment. So I did a certain puzzle where there was no maze-like element. It was just a bunch of squares you could freely navigate. But behind it, because they're on these panels that are kind of clear, behind it there's these trees that are in the ocean, and you've got to outline the trees, and that's the only way to unlock the next puzzle. So it uses the world really creatively. It's also a lot like old school games where in order to solve something, you have to pull out a pen and paper and actually write something down or draw something and put it all together. So there's one where you do these four puzzles that are physical puzzles where you walk on these panels, and then you get to another one that you can solve just off of the rules that you know, or you can make it easier by going and drawing those four boards together and combining your solutions to them, and then just drawing that on the final puzzle for it. So if you like, it's one of those games that like, and they said this on Beyond, and I totally agree. A lot of games that get 10 out of 10s, anybody can try, and it'll have some sort of element that will hold them. This is not one of those games. If you don't like puzzles, you're not going to like this game. If you get easily frustrated by it, you're not going to enjoy it. But there's something called the Tetris effect, where people play Tetris so long when they close their eyes, they just see Tetris. The Witness gives you that. Saturday night I played while I was watching the Republican debate, and ended up trying to go to bed around 11:30, and I was stuck on 3 puzzles. And as I was laying in bed for an hour and a half, I just kept imagining those puzzles and trying to solve them. And it really gives you that Tetris effect. And it's just wonderful. It's refreshing to see a game that trusts you to be able to do it, especially after playing The Division all weekend, where it's like everything is highlighted. There's a waypoint to everything. There are
Find the key.
Find the key that is clearly highlighted for you.
There's a column of light shooting up out of this key.
So I've really enjoyed it. Let's see. Empty Vial says, I was watching 2 to 3 top streamers playing this game. One, it looked boring as all get out. I couldn't stand watching it. All 3 of them were asking the chat for answers and just doing whatever the chat told them. It's not a stream kind of game. You have to play it. It's a game that engages you mentally. And if you aren't the one physically with the controller, and like I can't imagine my wife sitting there playing this game and me trying to direct her to what to do. You have to play it, and it looks boring, but it's not. But if you don't like walking simulators and you don't like puzzles, you're not going to like this game, and that's just the short of it. So anyway, that's the first game. Review in a word: intelligent. It's just a very intelligent game. It requires you to be intelligent and trusts that you are intelligent, and that's something I really greatly appreciate.